And I'm very pleased to inviting Professor Mariam Sanepur, Professor of Philosophy here at this institute, to give her paper. Thank you very much.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. عرض سلام دارم خدمت همه بزرگواران. Ethical convergence in the virtual world benefiting from Holy Quran. The new communication technologies have drawn different cultures together in such a way that adherence to communicational ethics is now necessary more than ever before. Therefore, in order to have a safe, happy, and peaceful world, we should delineate principles rooted in the inherent commonalities of human beings. In this article, benefiting from Holy Quran, we have tried to characterize the conditions or grounds in which a moral convergence can be brought about among different cultures in the virtual world. Holy Quran says, "We have not sent you except as a mercy to mankind. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ." And the Prophet of Islam has said, "I was sent to complete ethical values. إِنِّي بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ." Accordingly, Islam has offered a collection of ethical criteria based on human commonalities, since according to the verse, all humans have a divine nature. فِطْرَةَ اللَّهِ الَّتِي فَطَرَ النَّاسَ عَلَيْهَا. So this common divine nature provides the conditions for a moral convergence among different cultures. In this convergent morality, human rights are also observed in a unifying approach toward creator and creature, in such a way that human rights are not at odds with God-oriented virtues. Based on verses of Quran about the word of An-Nas means the public, we will formulate a convergent ethical system which is not conditional on certain religious faiths, but is based on human commonalities. In such a system, a trans-religious and trans-cultural ethics, communications of cyber users would be actualized in a most peaceful and secure way by virtue of its pre-religious and pre-cultural ethical principles. Basing on the anthropological foundations of Quran, یا ایها الناس انا خلقناکم من ذکر و انثی و جعلناکم شعوبا و قبائل لتعارفوا, such as the good nature of all human beings and their brotherhood and equality, these universal ethical principles have been established to provide the common moral grounds. That means universal mercy, universal unity, and universal peace for all human beings. In order to a coherent ethical system for communication among the citizens of the virtual world according to the verse of Quran, in the beginning mankind was unit nation. كان الناس أمة واحدة. This universal ethics would be able to establish a trans-religious and trans-cultural empathy among all the truth-seeker and virtuous citizens of virtual world, and to eradicate the grounds of racial, religious, geopolitical and historical discrimination from human society. The word of Annas refers to a minimal morality which provides the basis for convergence of individuals and society. There are in Quran a collection of wise teachings to humanity regardless of their culture and religion. This public discourse is based on common rationality. So, the audiences of the ideological teachings of Quran are only Muslims, but the audiences of Quran's public teachings are human beings, and we claim it can pave the way for a universal consensus. In other words, according to the verse, religion is not compulsive, la ikraha fi din, non-Muslims are not forced to accept Islam and thus are not the audience of the Holy Quran ideological teachings, but they can be addressed by the intellectual guiding teachings of Quran like any other book. And this is the beginning of the way of convergence of human beings and societies based on innate human rationality. In the diversity of the ethical approaches of different cultures, common points are needed to make communicational convergence possible. Obviously, such principles cannot be derived from a particular indigenous culture, but must be derived from the nature of mankind. They are not related to a particular history, geography, or race. That is why one has the legitimacy to offer them through a trans-cultural approach to the citizens of the virtual world without imposing a culture in a monopolistic or colonial way. In fact, cyber imposition is pointless because concurrent and flat interaction of virtual worlds are essentially at odds with any kind of authoritarian imposition. Referring to Quran, this paper intends to propose some pre-cultural convergence principles for communicational ethics, which are rooted in the intrinsic commonalities of all citizens of the virtual world, so there would not be any conflict between the principles and the multiple cultural manifestations of different nations. Achieving these common principles needs the following requirements. 1. A procedure based on universal mercy to guarantee world peace and ethical living in the cyber world. و ما ارسلناک الا رحمة للعالمین. 2. A dialogue-based and reason-based procedure which recognizes the intellect of all human beings. فبشر عباد الذین یستمعون القول و یتبعون احسنه, so that the concurrent and flat communications of the virtual world leads to cultural and moral cooperation. 3. A procedure that respects human qua human and doesn't divide human beings and individuals into the main and the subordinate categories. ولقد کرمنا بنی آدم. A procedure by which we can eliminate human limitations utilizing the limitless possibilities of the virtual world for a justice-oriented procedure that doesn't allow any racial, sexual, ideological discrimination. لقد ارسلنا رسلنا بالبینات وانزلنا معهم الکتاب والمیزان لیقوم الناس بالقسط. Quran represents such a procedure, and in its theoretical formulation one can benefit from Quran at three following levels. At the first level, the anthropological foundations of the convergent communicational ethics are derived from Quran, which according to present research consists in the common nature of all human beings, the brotherhood of all human beings, the equality of all human beings, the moderation, the human rights defending, the truth seeking, the freedom of choice, and the independence of all human beings. At the second level, the grounds of convergent communicational ethics are provided in such a way that are rooted in the previous anthropological foundations, which in the present research consist in the humanity and human respect, the mercy and compassion for all human beings, the inclusive unification of all human beings and communities, the inclusive peace among all individuals and communities. At the third level, the principles of the convergent ethics are formulated in the grounds of the convergent ethics in such a way that are based on the anthropological principles of Quran. In the formulation of each of these ethical principles, the former grounds and the previous foundations are present, which include moral virtues like the honesty in speech and act, the kindness towards each other, the respect for the right of ownership of all human beings, the amplification of affection among people, the trustworthiness, the fair judgment, and the fulfillment of promises. In this conceptual formation, the first level, the convergent anthropology of Quran, is present at the ethical convergent grounds, and both levels are present at the third level, ethical convergent principles. For example, consider the moral principle of honesty. The grounds of unity, mercy, justice, and reverence for humanity are present in the honesty, and by the mediation of each of these grounds, all the anthropological foundations as brotherhood, equality, truth-seeking, moderation, and free thinking are inherently rooted in the honesty. In the end, considering the capacity of the virtual world and referring to the convergent discourse of Quran, some convergent suggestions are presented as follows. 1. Even the broadness and concurrency of global cyber communications, it is appropriate to observe the requirements of convergent universal ethics in all the communicational actions and reactions. 2. Even the aforementioned common anthropological principles, conversational theories for the dialogue among cultures and civilizations should be presented to promote peaceful, convergent, and cooperative understanding and to end the present hostile conflicts that are rooted in cultural civilizational distinctions. These conversational policies based on the inherent human commonalities can govern all researchers in different fields of humanities, including society, psychology, linguistics, management, economics, and political science. 3. Attention to the common grounds of communicational ethics such as mercy, affection, unity, peace, justice, and reverence for humanity, whether national or international, is necessary for research projects of humanities because humanities scholars should consider the individuals and communities of the virtual world from a cosmopolitan point of view. 4. Designing a comprehensive philosophical system which, contrary to current discourses, doesn't separate the scope of reason from the scope of affection and mercy. As Imam Ali alayhi salam has said, affection for people is half of the reason. التودد نصف العقل. That is needed to convert the conflict among human beings to a peaceful and effective relation, and to provide ethical living grounds in an integrated world that by cyber technologies gathers individuals and communities in concurrent communication. In such a life world, the only factor that can replace hating others with loving others is a rationality, half of which is affection. Since the world is established on the mercy of God, it would not stand but by affection and kindness. Thank you very much.